Hey everyone, it's Austin Solomon, the Solomon Group at Coldwell Banker Action. Today we're talking about not leaving money on the table. Please, as you're selling your house, don't leave money on the table. Look, 2 points for you guys today. One, even though the market is hot, right? It's a seller's market, homes are selling, it still pays to prep your home and to prep it well. Number two, even though the market's hot, homes are selling, it's a seller's market, it still pays to properly market your home. Obviously, a lot this year was kind of nuts. It was crazy out there, right? Homes were selling for well over asking price. You might have heard that it didn't matter if your house was prepped well or not. If you threw a sign in the yard, it would probably sell. And that's true. The market is hot, and it was extremely hot in the summer, but it still pays to prep your house, right? You still want to clean your house from top to bottom. You want to boost your curb appeal, the exterior appeal. If I'm selling my house, I'm certainly going to finish up those last projects that just don't, seem to get the time that they, dedicated to them. And those perhaps some light renovations too. Maybe you take out the paint can and you do some touch-up paint, make some small updates to the home, and you certainly want to declutter the home, make it feel like it's being presented well. Now we're in central Wisconsin here, so this isn't California, right? Where you see on HGTV where they come in and they hire contractors and they make huge renovations to the kitchen, bathrooms, and multiple living spaces. Like, we're in central Wisconsin, so you want to be realistic too. You don't have to hire a 5-man construction crew to renovate a property in order to sell it. And more realistically, that's probably in most people's, they're not able to do that in their budget. To make that renovation. So that's where do you draw the line? That's a common question. Well, that's where an agent comes in and lets you know, like, hey, what things should we do? What things should we not? And in some instances, if a house is like, let's say a house has like kind of a, an early 2000s vibe, right, throughout the whole property, it probably doesn't pay just to update like one small thing. You might just get everything cleaned up so that the home has good flow, right? That's where an agent can help you decide, like, hey, does it really pay to do this flooring or to update the kitchen? In some instances, the answer may be like, no, it doesn't pay to put a ton of extra money in there, right? But it certainly pays to clean, to declutter, to present the house in a good manner. Even though the market's hot, you're going to be able to sell the home for more money and do better as a seller if you prep it well. Number two, you want to properly market the home, right? You might have thought as a seller, or you might think, hey, if the market's hot, things are selling, why would I want to pay a realtor, to sell my house, right? I could sell it on my own. And to that thought, I think as an agent, yeah, you probably can sell it on your own. In fact, I know you can. People have done it. People can do it. The question is, are you selling it to that buyer who's going to pay the most for it, who appreciates the home the most? That buyer who's willing to, pay the top dollar and give you the best terms for the house, right? So it's logical to think, hey, I want to save the commission. But on the same token, too, a for sale by owner is not going to be able to get that exposure that we can get for the property, right? The mediums that a for sale by owner has might cover 10 to 20% of the market, right? You put a sign out in the yard, you put it on Facebook Marketplace. You used to be able to put a home on Zillow as a for sale by owner, but recently Zillow retracted that. So now you're kind of limited to Facebook, maybe Craigslist, Marketplace, word of mouth, etc. Maybe you're able to hit 10 to 20% of the market, versus if the property's on all the major websites and in front of all the different real estate agents who have active buyers that are looking, right? That's a pretty big difference. So if a house, let's say in the summer, a house is listed with an agent and it had 10 offers on it, right? That same seller, if they would have sold their house for sale by owner, it's probably a good chance that they still would have had a few offers on the home. But the question is, which of those 10 would they still have had, right? Would it have been the ones that are towards the low end of the spectrum, the middle end of the spectrum, or the high end of the spectrum? Well, you don't know, right? But the question is, maybe if 2 of those offers came in, some of the instances that we had, there was a huge spread, but huge differences between the offers, right? As a for sale by owner, which 2 would have been the ones that have made it to the table? Would have been the best offer? Well, chances tell you probably not, right? I mean, there's only probably a 10 to 20% chance that the best offer would have been still came through to that homeowner, given that they're only reaching 10 to 20%, of the market. So that could have been easily a $25,000 spread. So that's where, as a homeowner, even though the market's hot, you want to get the right amount of exposure for your home. You want to work with an agent who's going to market the home well, who's going to present the home well. And again, you want to prep the house well. Even though the market's hot, it still pays to prep the house well and to have the right amount of exposure, and to properly market the home, with an agent. So thanks for tuning into this week's episode of The Real, and we'll catch you on the next one.